Okay, everyone, we are now live to YouTube. We're just going to do a quick roll call. We'll do a little bit of a more formal roll call than we normally would, given this is the first meeting and there's a lot of people here. Beginning with City Council representatives, Mayor Davis, I believe he's not attending today. Councillor Wall.
Present.
Councillor Van Tilborg.
Present.
Councillor McCreary.
Here.
Councillor Utley.
Present.
Councillor Vanderstelt.
Present.
Julie Bernard on behalf of MPP Wilbuma.
Present.
Teresa Percival on behalf of MP Philip Pullman. Okay. Barbara Sutherland on behalf of the Downtown BIA.
Present.
Ken McNaughton on behalf of the Brantford Brant Chamber of Commerce. Okay, perfect. And I see Mayor Davis has now joined us. Jamie Wilson Valor on behalf of the Downtown Central Neighborhood Association, or her alternate, I believe I did see Melanie Kitney.
Present, and Jamie will also be here. She's just running a little bit behind.
No worries. Braylon Aramburo on behalf of the Brantford Public Library. I think I maybe saw her alternate, Kelly Nelson.
Present, and Raylan sends her regrets for today.
Awesome, thank you. Heidi Northwood on behalf of Wilfrid Laurier.
This is Beth Gurney. Dr. Northwood's not available today, so I'll be here.
Awesome, thank you so much. Jacinda Rietzma on behalf of Conestoga College.
Yes, present.
Thank you. Deputy Chief Saunders on behalf of Brantford Police Service.
Present.
And Joanne Tober on behalf of the Brant County Health Unit.
Yes, present.
Awesome. Okay, so we're just going to run a quick election of the chair and vice chair. Are there any nominations for chair today? Councillor Wall?
Nominate Councillor McCreary.
Okay, Councillor McCreary, do you accept the nomination?
Yes.
Are there any other nominations for chair? Okay, seeing none, congratulations, Councillor McCreary, you're acclaimed as chair. Are there any nominations for vice chair? Councillor Vanderstelt?
Councillor Wall, please.
Sure, Councillor Wall, do you accept the nomination?
I do.
Okay, are there any other nominations for vice chair? Seeing none, congratulations, Councillor Wall, you are acclaimed as vice chair, and Councillor McCreary, you can go ahead and get started.
Well, thank you very much, Mel. And thank you, first of all, to everybody that's volunteered or been voluntold to act as part of this committee. Your participation is most welcome and thankful. Before we get started, I'm just going to go through the rules and procedures. I know most of you know what we do here, but some of you may not be quite familiar with how this goes in terms of Zoom application. Please keep your microphones muted when you're not speaking. That helps us maintain some degree of decorum and does avoid the occasional embarrassing gaffe. Make sure you keep your cameras turned on. That's how we ensure that we keep quorum for the meeting. City staff will jump in when requested and they'll pop up on video. If you're going to speak, I hope you're all familiar with this. There's a raise hand thing at the bottom there. If you look on your screen, if you want to make a request to speak, just hit that thing and it'll put a yellow hand up in the corner. And then after, like Councillor Utley has just done, and then staff will take that down after the speaking opportunity is over, okay? Occasionally we get bumped off. If we get bumped off, hang in there and we'll try to reconnect. If we can't manage that within 15 minutes, the meeting is ended. We're going to do a visual show of hands to vote here. If for some reason you don't have your screen active, or if you end up on the telephone, we will come to you, the clerk will come to you to ask you for a verbal vote a little bit later in the process, okay? Let's see now, delegates can take part electronically via webcam. Delegation rules pertain. Now, I'd like to take just a few minutes. I think pretty much all of us know pretty much all of us, but I think we'd like to, go through and do some, some brief introductions. And I'm going to start in the top left corner with Mayor Davis. And Mayor, I will remind you that I did use the word brief. Go ahead, please. Kevin, you're muted.
One thing I just want to tell people, remind this procedurally, please rename yourself the bottom left-hand corner. It's really helpful to the chair because if he uses the participant box to figure out who wants to speak, if it's just shown as Brantford panelist, it's hard. So there's a couple of you that haven't changed your name. You just go to the right top corner and hit those 3 little dots, and you can change your name. So that'd be very helpful to the chair, I'm sure. Yeah, so I'm Kevin Davis, and I'm the mayor. And we have a real challenge in our downtown, and there's no doubt of that. And so I'm very optimistic that through this task force, we'll come up with some really good ideas to not only deal with safety and security, but also how best to address the needs of those who use the downtown, and also not to be lost, but very important to the overall success of downtown is how we can better promote the downtown, both as a place to visit, come, shop, work, and in some cases live. So I think we can do some great things, just so long as we don't forget that we've got those 3 overarching objectives. And if we bear that in mind, I'm sure we're going to have some great success here. And it's the task force is great for accumulating ideas, because we as politicians don't have all the ideas. We don't have all the solutions. And it's a great way to sift out good ideas, mediocre ideas from the bad ideas, because we're doing it through a group with the perspective we each bring to this and our own knowledge and experience. So I guess that's long enough. And thank you very much, Councillor McCurry and Councillor Wall, for agreeing to act as the leaders of our task force.
Mayor, thank you. Councillor Etley, would you like to make a brief introduction?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm fresh from a BIA meeting yesterday, and there was a number of issues raised there, which I'm sure will also surface today. I'm very pleased and honored to be on this task force. There are some real issues, and our job is to identify what those issues are and then convert them into an action plan that we can get results and review them every quarter, I would think, at the minimum, and make a difference to our downtown area. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, John. Vice Chair Wall, go ahead, please.
Thanks, Chair McCurry. So first and foremost, I'm Councillor Wall for Ward 5, which is Eagle Place East Ward, and of course the downtown. And I want to sincerely thank everybody for coming here. It was at the request specifically of the BIA and other partners of the downtown that this task force came to fruition. And I want to thank Mayor Davis and the other members of council for supporting its creation. I think that we all love our downtown. We know that it is the heart of our city, and the heart of any city needs to be supported and taken care of, and everything will flow from there. So I also want to thank Councillor McCurry for taking the chair position, because to be the chair of a task force like this is going to be a tremendous responsibility, and is going to need somebody who's going to be able to control it and has plenty of experience. And by taking the role of chair, it gives me an opportunity as a councillor for Ward 5 to be able to be more of an advocate and to be able to speak more freely, as typically the position of chair is a bit more reserved. So thank you, Councillor McCurry. And again, thank you everybody for being here today. I can't wait to see what we can accomplish together.
Councillor, thank you. Councillor Vanderstel, could you please go ahead?
Thank you, Chair McCurry. Thank you for serving in this capacity. I will try to be as brief as the previous 2 speakers. This unfortunately, there's so much struggling and so much suffering happening as we've witnessed it in the core. But it's a microcosm. From our perspective, from my viewpoint, it is a microcosm of a phenomenon that's been happening across Southern Ontario definitively. And it's a macro problem. This is unfortunately the new thing that we're faced with as an urban reality in Canada. It is heartbreaking to see it happen, but truthful nonetheless. It is happening right in front of us in all of our urban centers. From my perspective, it's probably going to be a matter of focusing on how to, as a province, move together in solving that larger problem of how to service, how to maintain, how to care for these populations, rather than a municipality by municipality basis. And that probably will be the focus, my focus going forward, just to ensure that we're all on a level playing field and we are working towards solutions together. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Councillor, thank you. Julie, can I ask you to go next, please?
Hi, I'm Julie. I'm here representing MVP Bauman's office. So questions, concerns provincially, that way I can definitely pass along to MVP and Bauma and hopefully be of help. So I think that's all I have.
Excellent. Thank you, Julie. Teresa, can you go next, please? Oh, no, we haven't lost Teresa, have we?
I think she may be having some connection issues, so we'll come back to her.
We'll come back. Okay. Barbara, go ahead, please.
Yes, hello, everyone. A heartfelt thanks from the Downtown Brantford BIA. The downtown is the heart of every city, and our heart's a little bit broken, and that's why we're all here to help resolve the issues that have trickled down and impacted our business community drastically. And we know that there are answers. What I would like to see from this group, recognizing that we're not the only city this is happening in, we know that, but we are the city with a task force right now to attempt to address all of these issues and come up with great answers and a great model. And hopefully a model that other cities will look at and say, look what Brantford did, and let's follow through and follow their great example. So I appreciate everyone who's taken the time, because this initiative did come from the BIA, because we are struggling. And we know that all the great people on this committee will help resolve many of the issues and bring us back to the city that deserves all the stardom that it has. And I look forward to the outcome. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Barbara. Ken, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Chair McCreary. I'm Ken McNaughton, and I own a business downtown Brantford, and also acting as the president of the Chamber of Commerce. And it's no surprise to anybody that this downtown issue has affected all of our members, whether they operate a business in downtown or not. It affects everyone, so I'm pleased to be a part of this.
Thank you, Ken. Paul, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Councillor McCreary. I, as well, from the Brantford Brand Chamber of Commerce, and while Ken is our voting delegate, this issue is an economic one, but it's also a very prominent social one, and it has captured the attention, the full attention of the Chamber of Commerce, and we're here to support businesses and the people living downtown as much as possible, and we're grateful for the opportunity to be a part of this task force.
Super, thank you, Paul. Jamie, could you go next, please?
Yes, I apologize for being late. I am on a work day and I was running home. So I'm Jamie Wilson-Valor. I'm the chair for the Downtown Central Neighborhood Association. We are very happy to be included in this. Something we deal with on a daily basis is a lot of our fellow community members and expressing their frustrations about some of the stuff that's been happening downtown. So we're very excited to be here and provide any insight that we can. So thank you.
Thank you very much. And I missed Councillor Van Tilburg. Brian, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Chair McCreary. You're doing a wonderful job. I want to thank the BIA for their persistence and perseverance. You've driven this to make this task force happen, and my ward mate Joshua Wall for bringing forward a very detailed resolution that's put this task force together. I'm really looking forward to it because I think we all see on the broader scope that not just will the downtown benefit, but our entire community will benefit. And by having the levels of government here, we will be able to provide our problems and possibly our solutions and get the needed government support in order to implement these, because this is far beyond what a municipality can do on its own. And I know that we're looking for some short-term solutions, but there's going to be long-term solutions, and that is certainly going to be the bigger issue. I know the community would like us to snap our fingers and have these things taken care of. But I think one of the things that we can do is bring in as much of that information as possible, process it in a timely manner. I believe by having some sort of reports coming by January of next year or Q1 of next year, that's pretty quick for a task force meeting in August. And we still have opportunities to bring things forward that if we can implement them on the short term and they can make a difference, alleviate some of the problems, that is what the focus of the task force is. And I'm so happy to be on it, and I will do what I can to help.
Councillor, thank you very much for that. Melanie, would you go ahead, please?
Hi, everyone. My name is Melanie Kitney. I am the alternate for Jamie Wilson-Ballor on behalf of the Downtown Central Neighborhood Association. I'm also a third-year psychology student at Laurier, so I was actually led to the DCNA through my placement, and luckily I've been approached to stay on permanently, so I'm extremely grateful and excited for this opportunity, and hearing everybody's heartfelt introductions has made this a really great experience so far, so I'm very excited to contribute any way I can.
Excellent. Thank you, Melanie. Kelly, go ahead, please.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kelly Nielsen. I'm the Manager of Public Services at the library. I'm the alternative for our CEO, Raylene Arumbro, who sends her regrets today. But I know I speak for both of us that we're appreciative to be involved in this initiative, and we're here to support our community in any way we can.
Thanks, Kelly. Welcome, Beth. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Councillor McCurry. So I am pleased to be on this task force, and I share the regrets of Dr. Northwood, who I know wanted to be here this afternoon. We are very much obviously invested in the approximately 3,000 students and 300 employees we have at the Brantford campus, but overarching all of that is a sincere desire for everyone in this community to be healthy and safe and live the best life that they can. So we are pleased, as has been pointed out, these challenges aren't unique to our community, but I think we're perhaps uniquely positioned with this task force to become leaders in innovative solutions that perhaps may even become a model for other communities. So we are here to amplify the positives. We have recently invested in a campus experience coordinator that will be a bridge in a very tactical way between the campus and the community. So I see great synergies between that work and the ideas coming out of this task force. So I just want to say thanks for the opportunity to take part. And I do, if you'll indulge me, Chair McCurry, have a question. Is there an opportunity at some point to potentially suggest or create a motion to add someone else to this group?
Yes, we can come to that later on. Beth, you could, let me ask if you just email Joshua and I at the end of the meeting, and we'll see what we can do about that. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much. Jacinda, you have the floor.
Thank you. I'm Jacinda Rietsma. I'm representing Conestoga College. I'm the Vice President of Finance and Corporate Services, and also happen to be on the board of the Brantford Chamber of Commerce. So lots of reasons why this initiative is particularly important to us. We have expanded in the last few years in downtown and would like to expand even further. Look forward to many of our students coming back physically to campus soon, and just happy to be part of this, and obviously very invested in the success of downtown. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Deputy Saunders, go ahead, please.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jason Saunders, and I'm the Deputy Chief of the Brantford Police Service. You might have another officer joining with me on some of these meetings. Inspector Kristen Bell-Sampson oversees our operations branch and sends her regrets. She couldn't be here today. Obviously, we're well aware that the Brantford Police will play an important role in this task force, and we're looking forward to being a part of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. I see Chief Davis's moniker up there, but I don't see Chief Davis. He's not on, is he?
I'm here, but I'm having camera issues.
Would you like to give yourself a brief introduction, Chief?
Yeah, my apologies for the camera issues. Rob Davis, Chief of Police for the Brantford Police Service. Deputy Saunders will be our primary representative here. And like he said, Inspector Bell-Sampson would normally join him. She's off, so I'm here today just to gauge the temperature barometer and Glad to be here.
Thank you, Chief. And I believe, Joanne, I believe you're the last one to give an introduction.
Thank you, Chair McCreary. Hello, I'm Joanne Tober. I'm the Chief Executive Officer from the Brant County Health Unit, and I'm very happy to be here representing public health today, and happy to be participating with the other members of this task force on this very important project. And certainly public health is very supportive of improving the health of our community, particularly our downtown. So looking forward to the actions and the forward movement of this task force.
Thank you very much, Joanne. And I guess I'll add a word or two. I'm just so pleased and honored to be allowed to guide and chair this committee as we work our way through this volume of work. And I'm so pleased to have Councillor Wall as my leadership partner in this. We're going to do our very best to make sure that we get through this in a proper fashion. We are welcoming of everybody's opinion. There's no question that's a stupid question, and there's no comment that's not going to be heard while we're working our way through this. Okay. So now we're gonna move on and actually get into the agenda that's before us. First, let me ask: is there anyone here who might have a conflict of interest? I don't think so. Okay. Now, we're going to start with the items of business. We've got two items before us, 5.1 and 5.2 only. We don't have consent. We don't have notices. We don't have resolution. Sorry, we do have the two resolutions. So I'm going to ask right now for a mover and a seconder for item 5.1 and 5.2. I see it's moved by Councillor Wall and sorry, I'm going to go to Ms. Sutherland as the seconder. And for those of you who aren't familiar with city business, anyone can move and second a resolution. Only those folks who are for each of the organizations, you only have one vote. So if your primary is here, your secondary will not be a voting delegate. If your primary is absent, the secondary will be the voting delegate, okay? So anyone can move or second. It doesn't cost you any money to be the mover or seconder. You know, that's welcome. And we will, throughout the context of this, members can propose resolutions. They will not be heard at the meeting in which they are proposed. They'll come to us as notices of motion to be heard at the next meeting. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at now. So we've got both of our items on the floor, folks. So we're going to go to item 5.1 first of all, which is the task force terms of reference. And I'll ask for discussion on this now. Anyone's able to discuss this. Pull apart the resolution before us, comment, ask questions, whatever you like. We have staff here that are able to answer questions. I would suggest that questions will not be answered by other members of the committee. So in other words, if someone has a question of Laurier University, for instance, there won't be a back and forth between the two committee members, but there will be an opportunity. Sorry to pick on you, Beth. There will be an opportunity for the Laurier committee member to comment on the question when it becomes his or her turn. So on 5.1, discussion, questions, comments. You just have to click the raise hand button and the little yellow hand will come up in the corner. I don't see any, so I am going to go to the vote and I'll ask the clerk to do the vote now, please.
Certainly. So by a physical show of hands, just so that your hand is in frame, all of those in favor of item 5.1 as recommended. 2, 3. Okay, that item is carried. Or sorry, opposed. Anyone opposed? Okay, perfect. That item is carried. Thank you.
Thanks, Mel. Okay, so now we're going to move on to 5.2, folks, which is the Downtown Brantford Improvement Task Force Communications Plan. And I'll ask if there's any comment, questions, or I see none. I think we're very, oh, there's, you put your hand up, Mayor? There we go. Mayor, go ahead, please.
Do you think I'm going to pass up the opportunity to say something? No, but I just want to say two things. You know, I mentioned in my opening comments that the downtown has a number of pieces to it and problems, challenges, and opportunities. And you know, it was interesting. I was a little bit late coming here because I was filming and watched for it on my Facebook page. Mayor's Zoom Lounge, but on location, Harmony Square in front of the Y, talking about the Brantford Immigration Partnership that we do with Laurier and the Y. And I was interviewing a newcomer, his name is Diego. And, very excited about Brantford and the downtown and what he can bring to it. And he had a background in Chile in a law degree and a master's. And then once I'd finished talking to him and talking to other two people about the opportunities for partnership for newcomers to our community, then I had someone come to me and he couldn't speak English, and he showed me his phone and said he was a refugee from Syria and had just come into town and is looking for some help. And I thought, here I am in 5 minutes. I've seen such a contrast and seen the great potential, but great challenges. And part of it because of federal policies that have an impact upon us. And so, as I said, it's not, people talk about the downtown, the challenges we face. They're not necessarily what you think they are. And I'm really looking forward to, as I said, this opened my eyes to another aspect or dimension to some of the challenges we have, not only as downtown as a community. And so that leads me to be more relevant to the work of the task force, to D, which is part of our mandate is to, and this is an important part of the mandate because we could throw the committee open to having 60 members trying to get every single perspective, but then it would be very cumbersome. It would be very difficult to make decisions and recommendations. So D is critical. D is inviting input from organizations, whether it be by way of a written commentary and also having a day set aside for groups to come and talk to us. So wondering what, I realize, Councilor McCurry, you're just in the chair, but when we might have a conversation about that and a schedule for doing that and how we might do that in terms of promoting that we're looking for ideas and strategies and for groups and individuals and organizations that don't want to come to a public forum, providing that to us in a sort of a written format. So D's critical, which is collecting ideas and then sifting through those ideas and creating an action plan. And would that be the subject matter in our next meeting where we talk about that in more detail? Do you want to get into it today? Just wondering what
Mayor, I would suggest that Councilor Wall and I plan to have a discussion tomorrow around some of these items, actually, with senior staff. And I think at the end of the day today, I think we'll have a brief discussion about the timeline for our next meeting. I think probably electronically, we will do something in the way of setting that up, as well as looking at opportunities for public input. I'd like to see us move forward with this and have a lot of this work done before September the 15th. I think a couple of weeks would give us an opportunity to put something together to permit public input, either Zoomed or live.
Right. Okay, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. Just want to make sure we say that. Thanks.
I know you wouldn't do that. Councilor Wall, go ahead, please.
Thanks, Chair McCreary. So on the top left of my screen is a little flashing live on YouTube button. And if I go on to YouTube on my phone, I can see that there are 13 people who are currently watching. And the item we're discussing is our communication strategy. And if you ask me, 13 people isn't enough. Everybody who is here because you have been identified as a leader in your organization and as a leader and somebody of prominence in our downtown. And I'm asking you, as one of two councilors for the downtown, a personal plea that you help us find out what the people who live and love and work and do business in the downtown want and need to see the downtown be successful. I field a high number of calls from everybody asking me, what are you doing about the downtown? And everybody doesn't want to hear me talk. They don't want to hear me talk about what we can do or what we should do. They want to know what we're doing. And what we're doing is this. We have put together an incredible group of the who's who of the downtown. And together we are going to identify what the concerns are, what the issues are, and we're going to play matchmaker with the solutions. We're going to find best practices. We're going to find organizations and charitable groups and nonprofits and community members who are solving these issues. And I genuinely believe in my heart of hearts we're going to be able to do it. But it starts with a significant and powerful communication strategy. And that's why we're all here. So while city staff and our communications department are going to create a website and create a splash page and create a frequently asked questions, I implore you and beg of the members of this task force and committee to speak to your peers, to speak to your teammates, to speak to the people you serve, and ask them what they want to see from a downtown and report back to this committee so that we can address the concerns that the community has. Because that's why we're all here. And I'm just thankful that we're all here, because this is exactly what we need to get to where we want to be. And is it going to be easy? Absolutely not. Is it going to be a lot of hard work? Absolutely it is. But I am thankful that we are going to be able to do this together. Thanks.
Councillor, thank you. Before I go to Councillor Van Tilburg, I've got a big apology to David Prang. David, I didn't ask you to introduce yourself. Are you still there?
Yes, thanks, Dan. And apologize for my address. I'm on vacation at the moment, but I did want to add on here from the staff perspective, supporting the chamber, and wanted to note that we had the chamber table through the Ontario Chamber of Commerce had our first opioid specific discussion this morning. So it was nice to hear in terms of what the provincial solutions could be. But with my counterparts, Barrie, Muskoka Lakes, Guelph, Brockville, Sault Ste. Marie, Hamilton, Thousand Islands, Timmins, or really London, we're one community amongst many in both Southern Ontario as well as the near north that are dealing with this. So looking to sort of bring those that broader provincial perspective from the business community to the table through our representatives through Ken and Paul and as needed. So yeah, noting that lots of communities in our areas are experiencing these challenges, and we're one of many, but glad to be part of the solution.
Super, thank you, David, and my apologies again for overlooking it.
No problem.
Councillor Van Tilburg, your hand was up. Now it's down, but would you like to go ahead?
Just because you had acknowledged me, I didn't want to just leave it up there. So communications is number one. It's kind of, we've got to take all the information in from the community. One of the things that I see what we're doing is in mid to late September, starting to take that community input. I don't believe we actually have the format that we would do that in. I'm assuming that would be through a Zoom meeting. But one thing I do notice is that each time it's between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. And I think we have to stagger some of the other times, as well as have other ways to engage for people that can't make a meeting one way or the other, or need a presentation in order to give their input. So just so that we can have it fleshed out, that there would be alternative ways for people to submit their thoughts on the downtown. And possibly to have, if we are going to have some formula for how we're doing that presentation between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. on those 3 dates, if we could possibly add in another time slot, whether it be on those same dates or on another date, just so that it's not always the same groupings. There are people that will never be able to meet those times because if they're working straight evenings or what have you. So that's just a suggestion for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Mel, did you capture those remarks of Brian's?
Yes, I captured those.
Okay, that's super. I do want to encourage our non-councillor members of this committee to not be shy. I know we use up a lot of oxygen, those of us that are on council, but we've got you here because we want to know what you think and what you want. So as I say, please feel free to jump in, put your hand up and tell us what you think at any point in time, okay? Any further comment, concern on this, guys? Okay, Councillor Vanderstelt, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Councilor McCurry. Outside of committing my time and dedication to this group of incredibly talented and connected individuals, I'll also make the further commitment to continue to spend time with all of our front-facing people in the Corps. That includes the eyewitness accounts of everything that's happening there, for the security forces that are representing the banks in the Corps, Conestoga College, Laurier University, the private independent security forces that are serving in a number of other different capacities in the Corps. Frontline interviews with the people who are suffering from homelessness and addiction issues, and all of those issues that are so badly affecting so many. Interviews with the businesses that are there, and those who have left, unfortunately. Just in terms of being able to be a resource for what people have experienced, what they're going through, and what they're hoping to see in terms of changes, realistic changes, based on their experiences that they've had in other communities as well. So as we move forward to change, into a healthy change, that's my commitment to you. I will stay in tune with the people living and working and breathing there, and listen to their suggestions as well, including some of the most amazing people I've ever had the chance to meet, recovered addicts who have spent enough time in a number of different programs to be of a support to the communities down there already, who add their very important voice to this regrowth experience. The stories are simply amazing, of new people coming to the city who are newly homeless for so many different reasons, and how the community actually works together for their betterment. There's a lot of good stories to be told here as well. Reasons to believe in human nature, reasons to believe in the kindness that people show on a regular basis. I don't want that to be lost in this discussion. It is difficult to deal with things like this, but let's not forget how resilient we are and how much we hold each other up. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Well said, Councillor. Councillor Retley, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't, what I'm about to say doesn't relate exactly to the topic of communications, but I just feel it, and call me out of order if you need to, Mr. Chair. But I you know me, I'm trying to be a very action-oriented individual, and at what point do you see us identifying what the key issues are? How do we prioritize those key issues, and then assign resources and people to those actions, and then review them to see that the work that we're putting in is having a result. So I just wanted to ask that question, that at what point would we do that at the next meeting? And if yes, can we send out a request to the members, asking them to list the top 5 issues, or top 10 issues, and then they can come back to the group, and then we can pick through them, prioritize them, and maybe work on the top 3 or the top 5, and then go down to the next ones, and so on. So I think we're all of the opinion that we want to see something come out of the work that we're putting in, and so I just wanted to state that, Mr. Chair. I think it's probably the process that we're following is really critical to making that positive difference. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Yes, the mayor and I have sat on 2 task forces upon which this is modeled. And what we've done in past, we have 3 streams of investigation, I believe, and commentary that we're pursuing here. And at some point quite soon, I think what we're going to have to do is see where people's interests lie with respect to how they're going to participate and in which stream of investigation. And that's going to be supported by staff as well, Councillor. So we're going to be doing a lot of it as subcommittee work. and then meeting as a general committee. But we found in past that it's extremely effective, and we have such great community partners here at the table, and which have been at the table in our two previous iterations of this type of work, that we'll probably get through this in quite short time. It's not intended to be a permanent committee. It's a task force, and our task is quite finite, and our term is until we're finished, which hopefully will be sooner rather than later. There may be some work that goes on an ongoing basis, Councillor, but I think a lot of what we want to do is make some recommendations to staff, which then can be enacted or forwarded to our senior government partners.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're muted, Chair McCurry.
Oh, darn that button. It's so hard to find that sometimes. Thank you, Councillor. So seeing no further requests to speak, we're going to go to the question on this, and I'll remind you that it's just the primary, or in the case of the primary is absent, it's the alternate that's the voting delegate here. Go ahead, Mel.
Okay, so voting on item 5.2 to be received. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, and those opposed? Okay, the item is carried.
Thank you very much. So that concludes our business today, folks. So hopefully before the week is out, we'll have some communication to you about some of the next steps, some of the streaming of the work that we're doing. A reminder, Beth, I think it was you that had asked about a notice of motion. You could give me a call tomorrow, and we'll have that with the clerk, and then that can be on our agenda for the next committee meeting. Okay. All right. So again, thank you, not just for today, but for the work ahead of you and your commitment to our community. We value your input, and I hope you'll share this with all your partners in your organization and ensure that we get some darn good ideas that come forward. So we are now adjourned. We'll be in touch shortly, and we'll see you next time. And thank you very much again.
Thank you all.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you.